plume, some of those other issues and the reasons that Alan and I were looking at talking. It's if the migration is occurring, at some point treating saltwater will be a fact. It's just, do you wait till it gets to the intakes, or do you try to address it at that situation where it's at? Strategies, potential positives that we could have to move forward. Add baseline to the aqueous beds. As the more discussions that you have about the issue, what happens when you clean the water up? You know, whose water is it at that point in time? Who pays for the costs for those types of remediation in that particular instance? Who will have the benefits of this new water? Will it be the landowner, the remediator, those types of things? Do you leave an IGUCA on it? How do you justify an IGUCA? There's obviously a lot more political type questions. Is significant potential for a public-private partnership? Is there some middle ground between a city and a local irrigation area? Some possibilities. Who pays the costs? Who receives the benefits? Who's entitled to the water? There's other mobile technologies. Rotec has one as well. It doesn't appear to have as many energy efficiencies. One thing that's unique about that group, hundreds of years of work on water and 40 years of desalinization work. So it's not necessarily new technology whatsoever. It's just a capsule. On the irrigation front in Israel, as you can see, tremendous numbers countrywide: cotton, wheat, sorghum, corn, avocados, a lot of fruits, olives, grapes. They're coastal plain regions, tomatoes, cucumbers. There's lots of greenhouse work, lots of hydroponics. It's an arid desert climate, one of the world's leading citrus producers and exporters. It's definitely different. Their government has production quotas, and their Ministry of Agriculture oversees the agricultural sector, including their standards of plant and animal health. It's total control. 20% of their land is arable. 7.2 million people. Historically, before they came across the desalinization technology, they completely recycled their wastewater, and that was their drinking water at that point. Since these other technologies became available, they created an agricultural revolution. So now they use all of that recycled gray water as their irrigation water. A lot of woody species, everything from your almonds to your avocado trees to the olive trees and everything else, but ag workers only are 3.7% of their workforce as well. Israel produces 95% of its own food. They import meat, coffee, cocoa, sugar, grain, and oilseeds. Some of their technologies, they have a couple of very high-end leading firms. Netafim has happened to be one of the facilities that we happen to tour. They're pretty much a leader in drip tape, above ground and below ground tried drip irrigation. These are some of their hydroponics in their research labs. Different types of glasshouse technology, controller modules for energy efficiency. One thing I'm just kind of highlighting, their commitment to research. It's ongoing all the time. They have significant research commitments, whether it's different types of manifold controllers that you see a lot of these even in areas that we have in central Kansas where we have a lot of drip. They pop up out of the ground, but where they're constantly trying different efficiencies and clean out and cleansing mechanisms and different research tools. Olives, some of the row crops, strawberries. Actually, I think John Deere had a joint venture and they bought some of the technology off the tape. So we will see, or we do see a lot of Netafim tape in America. This is just a shot of some of the above ground surface drip, and really unique bird. He's just waiting for a shower. Here's my buddy Alan. What was unique, we were in a water treatment reuse facility in Mekarot, and tremendous, just huge. You can see the size of the pipelines and the conveyance system, but as we were running along and ducking your head under one of these huge pipes, I happened to look at a vendor plate. Thought it was very, very unique. were halfway around the world, and it said that that particular device was designed and built by Black & Veatch in Kansas City, Kansas. That's pretty unique. Water treatment storage facility. This is probably one of the most surreal water facilities I've definitely ever been to. You enter through this side of this gate. These are concrete walls up about 7-8 feet, and then it's razor wire, 200,000 volt above that, around the entire perimeter of the facility. There's armed guards in this concrete shed, and this gate rolls away when your bus drives up. So we entered into this. Looks like a great big parking lot, doesn't it? That is the ceiling, the roof of this facility. We actually were allowed to go inside this compound, and this was, what, 30 meters deep inside this. So you walk around a catwalk around the interior of this. So just from the bioterrorism and the potential for injecting biological agents into their water supply, when you have certain countries constantly at war, it's prevalent all the time, every day. So their security, this is their number one security outpost. Their controllers and their safety mechanisms. We went into one facility and there was 27 panels, digital touch panels on one wall and 27 on the other. One was water supply, one was delivery systems, where at any point in time, they had telemetry on every square inch, and they knew every flow of all of the water that traveled throughout the entire country if injection were to occur in a particular line, where they had modular remote ability to shut that particular quadrant down so they would limit the loss of life. That's where a lot of this technology came from, when they're managing for their emergencies. Emergency preparedness. In the event that they had to hit that button and shut down that particular quadrant, their emergency preparedness, whichever crew got the light popped on, they'd go by and they'd pick up either modular units of water handling facilities, in the entire packs of all of these facilities. They would have, all right, you would go to bin 8X, and you would take everything there, everything from bags to hold their water supplies. It was just amazingly organized. And with that, I just had a couple pictures for the pleasure of just some of the, one afternoon they did take us up through the Holy Land, and we went through Jerusalem, and just a few pics of their culture and Jerusalem and a lot of those events. I saw one here that I actually stuck that slide in for Tracy. Clear head shampoo. If it wasn't so hard to bring it back on an airplane, I was bringing that home for you, Tracy. Clear head shampoo. Their food safety issues and all of their open air marks. It was a little disconcerting, but it was unique. All these different, some beautiful areas. And that's all I have today, and we'll stand for some questions. I think Alan's going to go through an overview of some of the other concerns.